Hello, welcome back. I'm Lorenzo, and today I'm going to talk about how I thrift. So thrifting, I think, can be pretty frustrating for people who aren't used to it. They're maybe used to going to like a traditional retail store and finding the thing that they want to find. Thrifting is definitely not like that. It's much more like you get what you get and you be happy and you're thankful. But now with online thrift stores, finding specific items is a lot easier. To start off, thrifting, I go to physical stores and I also shop online at thrift stores. I do this because there are pros and cons to each of those types of store. So physical thrift stores, like a Goodwill or like a local thrift store or something like that. The pros to those are that they're usually cheaper and you can try on everything before you purchase. The cons to those are, you have to go to the store, physically go. It takes a lot of time to sift through every piece, so it's just like a time-consuming experience. Also, you have to put clothes on and, look like a person. So another pro is that you get the item immediately. You don't have to wait for shipping. You can just take it home with you and you have it and you can wash it and then you can wear it. So that's great. Online thrift stores, primarily I use thredUP. I've also started looking at the RealReal, which is more luxury goods, but you can find some pretty good prices that are, I don't know, maybe not comparable, but no, some of them are cheaper than thredUP. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. But pros of online thrift stores are you can find more specific pieces, you can sort through all the different options by like color or size. There are way more options than there would be in a physical store. And the cons are that it's generally more expensive. It still takes time to sift through all those things online, so you're not really saving a ton of time by shopping online. Also, you have to wait for the items to ship to you, and shipping is always a stressful thing for me because packages get stolen regularly from our house. So I have to really want the thing for me to want to ship it to my house. So with both of these formats, both online and in person, I kind of use the same criteria for how to shop and how to pick something that I actually want to buy. The first thing is material. I always look at the material because I'm really picky, I guess. I like to shop for clothing that has natural materials because I like to generally change the item in some way eventually, maybe not immediately. Like I like to dye them different colors when I'm bored of a certain color, or I like to alter it in some way, and for me it's just much easier to do that with natural materials, especially dyeing. So I'm always looking for my top materials of linen, silk, cotton, leather, and wool. I will also buy rayon and viscose sometimes. It just depends on the piece and like how it feels. I find that these fabrics generally hold up better over time, and washing them, I don't like to dry clean anything. So if I'm getting something really fussy, I'm just going to hand wash it. So it needs to be able to be durable enough, and I find that these natural materials are durable enough. I also find that they're generally better quality. So that is kind of the top thing that I'm concerned about when buying something, especially used. I want to make sure that I also get plenty of years or plenty of wears out of it before it's kind of done. I don't really want to buy something that's already very beat up and used. It's kind of like, cool, I'm not going to really get any use out of it. So it's kind of like, we should just recycle this fabric at this point. Also, I just hate polyester. I hate it so much. It's not like it bothers my skin or anything. Like, it's not like I get a rash, but it just feels horrible. And I sweat and it really picks up sweat smells and it's just not good. I don't like it. That's not to say I don't have any polyester. I do have like some dress pants and blazers that are polyester, but I don't like to wear anything that's going to be like a top because that's generally where I sweat and I just don't want that. The next thing I consider when thrifting is color. So color is really important to me. I love color and I love wearing colors that really suit my skin tones. I keep a reference photo kind of chart of a bunch of different colors that I know look good on me on like my notes app in my phone, so that whenever I'm at a physical store or shopping online, I can just pull it up and be like, oh yeah, this is actually going to be a really good color for me. And since I've used that so much, I kind of already memorized the colors that look good on me. But it's still nice to have just like in person, especially when lighting is weird. So I try to buy things that are in my color palette. Now, I don't always do that because you don't always have to wear your color palette. But if I'm buying something that's not in my color palette, then it's typically going to be something that's more of an accessory, like a purse, or it's going to be like a bottoms, something that's away from my face, because when I wear a shirt that is really not in my color, it makes me look pale and sick. So I try to keep those things away from my face, but like I'm obsessed with like tangerine orange right now, and there's no way that's going to like look good on my skin tone. So I would probably try to look for a bag or a shoe or maybe pants or skirt in that color instead. So that's kind of the things I would be paying attention to with color in terms of thrifting. Also, when I don't buy things that are in my color thrifting, I get them in a light color so I can dye them. So this typically happens with a lot of linen shirts or silk shirts. I don't love the color that they are. Maybe they're just like pastel. Like I don't love pastels on me. And those are something that are really easy to just dye and then you get the kind of color that you want. I've done that with several shirts. Like this linen shirt that I had was originally like a coral, like a very pale coral. I guess you could say a sherbet, I don't know. It wasn't flattering on me, so I dyed it this pink color, which is a lot more bold, which suits my color tone a lot better. I also did that with this green silk shirt. It used to be a very light mint, and the color didn't look horrible on me. It just wasn't as flattering as something that's a little more mid-tone. So that's what I did with this shirt, is I did it more green, and the effect of the dye with the water just did kind of a cool pattern on it anyway. So it made it a lot more unique and a lot more wearable for me. The next thing I do with thrifting, specifically in person, is I try everything on before I buy it, because I don't want to come back and return something. And some thrift stores you can't return to anyway. Clothes look so different on your body than they do on a hanger, and so I think it's so important to try things on to see if it's actually worth buying. Even something as simple as a t-shirt, like you might be like, oh, this is like just a t-shirt, it's really basic, I can just buy it. And sometimes you can, especially if it's oversized, but sometimes it just like looks weird. Like they do weird cuts on things sometimes, and just like, why? Maybe if it's someone else's body, but that's why I think it's really important to just try it all on and just do it. If you're going thrifting, like commit some time. Like I don't go thrifting for less than an hour typically, unless I just don't find anything and I just leave early. But probably like 2 hours. It's probably good to sift through everything and try on everything. So since you're trying everything on, you should probably wear something that's either easily removable or slim fitting, so you can try things on over. I typically like to wear a really fitted tank top and leggings and like some slip-on shoes or sandals. That just makes trying on really quick, and I don't have to worry about finding a dressing room for something like a blazer or a sweater and things like that. I can just try it on in a mirror. So yeah, try on your clothes and you'll significantly reduce your mistake buys. The last thing I always do when I'm thrifting for clothes is I check out the men's section and the lingerie kind of nightgown section, because you can really find some gems in there that you would not have expected. Specifically the lingerie area, I used to never look in that area until one day I just decided to. I was like, maybe I want a nightgown, who knows? And then I found a freaking black slip dress in there that I've now worn for years. And I don't even know that it was specifically lingerie. It was just a nice silk slip dress that I think probably was worn under something else. But anyway, it was $5 because no one knew what they were looking at, and it's fabulous and I love it. And that's why I always look now, because you can find some really nice silk tank tops and things like that that maybe they were intended for sleepwear, but you can still wear them as day wear. For our men's section, like that's where you find all the basics. Like you can find nice baggy t-shirts. I love men's I love men's butts. I love men's button-up shirts. They're so nice to throw on over like a tank top in the summer, or to sleep in. There's one that I'm sleeping in now for the summer because it's so comfortable. You can also wear the button-ups, you know, in a more traditional way, like in the office, things like that. But also the beautiful blazers that the men's section has, like it's incredible because it's all suiting. You can find like an actual suit that works for you. I have yet to find that, but I'm still looking and optimistic. I feel like the men's section is a lot easier to find higher quality items because it's typically things like wool jackets or like linen shirts or cotton shirts. There's tons of cotton button-ups. If your figure is kind of more straight up and down, I feel like a lot of the men's jeans and trousers also work for you. And if you're more curvy, you can always get them tailored if that's something you want to do, but I usually just don't. If I find men's pants that I really like, I just belt it and we're good to go. So yeah, those are my general tips for how I like to thrift. Obviously, I always like to have some form of a list of what I'm looking for, but I try to keep it really general because you never know what you're going to find. So yeah, hope you took something out of that video and maybe can use it on your next thrifting trip. Thrifted or secondhand clothes make up about 80% of my wardrobe, and I really like finding those special, unique pieces and giving clothes a longer life. So yeah, let me know what your best thrifted finds, or maybe you have some thrift tips that you can share with me down in the comments below. I'd love it if you subscribed and liked this video so you can see me next week. I do videos every Sunday and you can find me here doing stuff.